So now I hope you all understood what is Boyle's law mean. So this is giving relationship between the pressure and volume. So this is inversely proportional, which means if pressure increases, volume will decrease. If volume increases, the pressure will decrease. So you just imagine the students in a classroom. So if volume is more means number of students hitting each other inside the classroom will be less. If volume is more in the sense, if the students are in the ground, then there will be the less possibility of the students to get each other, to hit each other. Okay, if they hit each other, the pressure, if they don't hit each other, the pressure is less. Okay, now if the volume is less, which means in a classroom where around 50 students are there, they are hitting each other, therefore the pressure also increases. So this is the idea behind this Boyle's law. Now let us understand what is the consequence of this Boyle's law. So have you all have you all been to anywhere through airplane? So if you have the experience traveled in airplane, you will be knowing this, because before all the passengers enter inside the airplane of cabins of the airplane, it will be artificially pressurized. Why? Because all the commercial airplanes, they fly at the altitude of 30,000 feet. So the pressure decreases with increase in altitude. This is the common idea. So as you move up, the pressure is decreased because the number of air molecules is very, very less, and therefore they will not collide each other, therefore the pressure will be less. But as you move down, the pressure is more. Okay, so as you move, increase in altitude, the pressure is decreased. So what happens? While at air, the pressure around the aeroplane will be so low that one could pass out of lack of oxygen. So for this reason, airplane cabins are artificially pressurized. So what happens? There will be a lack of oxygen, so that is why it is artificially pressurized. Similarly, if you the effect in drop in pressure, it is felt as a little pain in ears. So this also very sensitive person could have, not very sensitive person, everybody could have experienced this, felt this already if you have experienced traveling in flight. So if the pressure is getting reduced, if there is a sudden drop in pressure, you can feel the changes like little pain in the ears by a person while ascending a mountain in a plane. So like if you are climbing the mountain also, you can feel this. Though the external pressure drops, the internal pressure within the ear cavities remain the same. So this creates the imbalance. So the greater internal pressure forces the eardrum to bulge outward, causing pain. So internally it will remain same, but outward it is getting exchanged. The pressure is changing in the atmosphere, which causes the eardrum to bulge outwards, which causes the pain, and the excess air within the ear cavities escapes after some time, and with the help of yawning, thereby equalizing the internal and external pressure to relieve the pain. If you open your mouth like that, you can feel the relief. Okay. And underwater divers are advised not to hold the breath unnecessarily while diving. So do you know why? Because reducing the pressure decreases the volume. So due to the over expansion, divers may risk lung injury. Okay, now this is the consequence. The pressure density relationship can be derived from Boyle's law as shown below. P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2, which is our Boyle's law. So here where M is the mass, so we are going to relate this with the density. So as I told before, as you decrease the pressure, the density is getting increased. The density is getting changed. So now what is density is equal to mass by volume. So you are just interchanging this. If you do that, V is equal to M by D. Okay, so this is what we have got here. P1 in P1 instead of V, P1 V1 we had no, in the place of V1 we are substituting the value m by d1 is equal to P2 m by d2, where m is the mass, d1 d2 are the densities of gases at pressure P1 and P2. So therefore mass remains constant, so we take it as P1 by d1 is equal to P2 by d2. So in other words, you can say density of a gas is directly proportional to pressure. Okay, now let us see this. The first case, the pressure is 1 atmospheric pressure, volume is 1 decimeter cube, and temperature is 298 Kelvin. And here in the second diagram, the pressure is reduced, which means it is reduced to 2 atmospheric pressure, and V2 is we don't know, we have to find that, and temperature is 298 Kelvin. So here you can see temperature remains constant. In the first case, you don't know the pressure, the volume is 0.25 dm cube. So we are going to identify. So according to Boyle's law, at constant temperature for the given mass of gas at constant temperature, so you have to, so what they are saying, at constant temperature of a given mass of gas at constant temperature, you have to write it as P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 is equal to P3 V3. Substitute the values, what all is given here, you just substitute those values and you multiply first and second value and the first and third value. By doing, you will get the value of V2, substitute the value of V2 by multiplying the first and third, so that you will get the value of P3. So you can easily identify. Now this evaluate yourself is given here. So this I am just showing the picture, you can try this by yourself, and I am giving the answer also, but still you can try this. So they have given the volume of freon. Freon is one of the molecule of fluorine and chlorine. So you will study this in your second volume. We will learn how to name these molecules, freon and all. So freon is 1.5 dm cube, pressure is 0.3 atmosphere, and T is constant. Pressure is 1.2 atmosphere, and V2 we have to find. So P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. You have to just substitute and get the value. So here volume decreased from 1.5 to 0.375 dm cube. In same way you can try this also. So the thing is, you have to just substitute all your values in P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2, and you have to rearrange the equation and you have to get the answer. Okay, so these are the possible questions here in the next part of the Boyle's law. What are the consequences? Derive pressure density relationship. Why are the airplane cabins, they are artificially pressurized? You don't think that even from the do you know part, questions will be asked very easily. And why underwater divers should not hold breath unnecessarily. So these are the possible questions here.